Okay, and here are our Wilds of Eldraine spoilers for August 15th. So I'm going to go through these real quick, see what we have, and try to analyze them. So first up is Beseech the Mirror. So we saw this earlier, but we'll go ahead and read this again. So Beseech the Mirror is a sorcery that costs 1 and 3 black. It has Bargain, which means you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast this spell. Search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. If this spell was bargained, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost, if that spell's mana value is 4 or less. Put the exiled card into your hand if it wasn't cast this way. So, yeah. Basically, if you bargain this, you're pretty much paying 4 mana to transform this spell into another spell in your deck. So it's an interesting twist on the tutor. It costs us the same amount as Diabolic Tutor. But it's just like a little bit of a twist on it. Like you use it, you go dig up what you're really looking for, and then you just cast it out of your hand right away. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, especially if like you need like a key piece of removal right now, or you need a or you need like just something to like just set up like your next turn, but you don't want to pay for it. Like it's pretty solid. Yeah, and the thing is, you search your library for any card. So if you need Shale Dread right now, you can go and get it with this. If you need a Phyrexian Arena, go and get it and cast it. It's like in anything that you may need. Because of the fact that it's triple black, you're likely only going to be playing this in 2 colors or monocolored decks, just because of the casting cost on this spell. But yeah, pretty solid. And honestly, you could play this in a deck like red black Arcane Bombardment, and just have Arcane Bombardment cast the spell for you every turn, and just basically just go and get a free tutor every turn. That's pretty good in my book. That might actually be something I work on. Yeah. All right, cool. Next, we have Kellen the Fayblooded. For 2 and a red, you get a 2/2 human fairy. It has double strike, and other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellen the Fayblooded. Interesting. Birthright Boon, 1 and a white, sorcery, adventure. Search your library for an aura or equipment card. Reveal it. Put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, so that's actually really strong. Yeah. It's like its first half just says, hey, go get sword, or go get like whatever enchantment you might be wanting. It's like it's what is the card that did that in the past? It was gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a core creature. It was like a 1/2, and when it came into play, it allowed you to search your library for an equipment and put it into your hand. I can't remember the name of it though. It was a very popular card back in the day. But yeah, this is that same effect right there, and then you just cast the creature, and the fact that like it's a double strike and it pumps the rest of your whole team is like that's really strong. Yeah, I can see that being all over the place later. Realm Scorcher Heraldkite. Again, another card that we've seen already, but we'll read it anyways. 4 colors, 2 red. Creature Dragon. Bargain. Flying. Haste. It's a 4/6. When Realm Scorcher Hellkite enters the battlefield, if it was bargained, add 4 mana in any combination of colors. So, again, like that little like paragraph right here, really good. So it basically makes it like this thing only costs actually 2 mana. So then you got 1 in red. Realm Scorcher Hellkite deals 1 damage to any target. So yeah, you could just use that mana to ping something for 2, or play something else from your hand. So really strong. We have Agatha of the Vile Cauldron. We have for a red and a green, a human warlock, 1/1. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha of the Vile Cauldron's power. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. And then you pay 4, red and green. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample and haste until end of turn. So here's the cool thing is Agatha herself can reduce the cost of her own ability. Pretty strong. Yeah. And if you can get her power up to 4, which is not hard. This is just a 2-mana ability right here. And a repeatable 2-mana ability as well. So you just go just sink all your mana, make your team huge, and just swing in for the win. That's a pretty good witch. Okay, then we have Baluna Grand Squall. It is for Teamer colors, that is green, blue, and red. And is a legendary creature, Giant Noble. So already, since this realm is all about the fairy tales, right? This one just tells me this is a Jack and the Beanstalk situation. It's like it almost looks like this castle that she's residing in is in the sky, because it almost looks like these are clouds kind of fluttering out around her area here. And if you look out the back window there, it almost looks like it's just sky, no ground whatsoever. So it's very much Jack and the Beanstalk. So she's a 4/4 with trample and permanent spells you cast that have an adventure cost 1 less to cast. And then her adventure is Seek Thrills. For 2 green, blue, red, instant adventure, mill 7 cards. Then put all cards that have an adventure from among the milled cards into your hand. That's pretty good. Yeah, so get extra copies of Baluna or other relevant adventures. Just pop them in. Yeah, easy. We have Ariette of the Charmed Apple. Very, very beautiful art here. You can tell this is the Wicked Witch in Snow White's fairy tale. Just look at the apple there. That's clear. So Ariette of the Charmed Apple. 1, a white and a black for a legendary creature, human warlock. 2/4. Each creature that's enchanted by an aura you control can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of auras you control. So it's very interesting. So this card wants you to apply the roll cards to... Hello? There you go. Yeah. So she wants you to apply rolls to your opponent's creatures or enchant them with negative effects. And just basically just put an enchantment on every creature your opponent puts out. And don't kill them. Keep them in play. And then just drain your opponent every turn until they die. It's this is Sleeping Beauty. This is Sleeping Beauty right here. Yeah. Hush now. I need your beauty sleep. Yeah, that makes total sense. I really like this set. The flavor for this set is just really, really on point. Kudos to the design team. Definitely. Okay, next up we have Hilda of the Icy Crown. Another one we saw previously, but we'll read it real quick. 2, white, blue, legendary creature, human warlock. A lot of warlocks. 3/4. Whenever you tap an untapped creature and an opponent controls, you may pay 1. When you do, choose 1. Create a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Or scry 2, then draw a card. Again, I really think the first option is going to be the most relevant. And we are definitely going to be building a deck around her and her Icy Manipulator crown. Like her like whole tap it down package, it looks like a lot of fun. I don't know how good it's going to be in standard, but it looks like a lot of fun. So like we probably see like a lot of like jank decks trying to make this work. Okay. Next up we have Rowan, Scion of War. So 1 black and red for a 4/2 menace, human wizard. Tap. Spells you cast this turn that are black and or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So yeah, use effects that have a life cost attached to them, and then just cast a whole bunch more spells. she's a great enabling creature. I like it a lot. Yeah. So, and then we have her brother, Will, the Scion of Peace. 1 white and blue, legendary creature, human wizard. 2/4 vigilance. So the opposite of his sister. Instead of a 4/2, he's a 2/4. So he's more defensive. We have vigilance, tap. Spells you cast this turn that are white and or blue cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is the exact same as her sister, as his sister, except in the reverse polarity. So this guy is going to want you to gain a bunch of life so that you can then cast a bunch of spells. So pretty solid. And vigilance, so he can attack and then post attack. He can attack and then post combat tap to use this ability. So it's pretty good. It's easy to cry for glory and charge those who disagree with you, but it takes finesse to turn enemies into allies rather than corpses. Good idea. Expel the Interlopers. So for 3 and 2 white, you have a sorcery. It says, choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. Ooh, I like that. So it's a weird kind of wrath effect that only hits high power creatures. Or alternatively, it can just kill everything on the board except for things that have a power of higher than 10. So yeah, it's a modular wrath effect. Pretty good. I happen to like this one. 3 blind mice. For 2 colors and a white, you get a saga. It says on phase 1, create a 1/1 white mouse creature token. On phases 2 and 3, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Okay, so more boys. And then on 4, you get creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. So that's pretty cool. It's not bad for a for this kind of an effect. I can see this being really good with proliferate effects, so you can advance the story faster than normal. Yeah, not too bad. All right, then we have the Lich Knight's Conquest. So for 4 and a black, sorcery. It says sacrifice any number of artifacts, enchantments, and or tokens. So that's the same like sacrifice requirements as the mechanic. Was it not barter? But what's the mechanic? Let's scroll up and find it. It bugs me when I can't get the name right. Bargain. That's it. Bargain is so. Then here. Okay, so it's the bargain mechanic. So you bargain like X amount of times. Return that many creature cards. Hey, chill. Come here. Relax. Okay. Return that many creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. So this is almost a living death effect, but it's only for you though. So like it's not going to wrath away your opponent's board or anything. But this is actually pretty solid, like, especially if you cast this multiple times in a turn, and you basically just cycle your graveyard and your battlefield in and out over and over. So you fill your deck with like a bunch of comes into play effects, like powerful comes into play effects. That could be pretty solid. Yeah, and it's only 5 mana, which is the same cost as your typical reanimate effect. So yeah, I like that. That's not too shabby, honestly. Nice. Okay, so next card is called The End. It is an instant that costs 2 colorless and 2 black. This spell costs 2 less to cast if your life total is 5 or less. And it says, exile target creature or planeswalker. Search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name and that permanent, and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. So, it's a lobotomize. Yeah, it's a lobotomize effect that could potentially only cost 2 mana. Yeah, I like this. This is actually a really solid card, and it does give you access to hand knowledge, access to the rest of their deck, so you can see what they're still having. Yeah. Only problem is that it only targets creatures and planeswalkers. But those are usually the more relevant things that you want to hit. Like, especially if you're up against like a white control deck and your opponent is playing the Wandering Emperor. You just remove that and then remove all other instances of that card. It's like it's pretty good. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this card, definitely. Mm-hmm. Okay, next up is Decadent Dragon. For 2 colorless and 2 red, you get a dragon. It's a 4/4 with fly and trample, and whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. Cool. It has an adventure, expensive taste, 2 and a black, instant adventure. Exile the top 2 cards of target opponent's library face down. You may look at and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. Ooh, I like that. That's not temporary. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, because I was thinking about playing, what was it? Siphon Insight recently. But I didn't want to go into blue for it. This, I can just cast that in black and then just not even have to worry about casting the other side. Though you can just add some red, go into Rakdos, and then just play this card. And this dragon makes treasure tokens for you, so you can eventually cast the cards that you exiled. It's pretty good. Yeah. I like it. I think I might actually play with this. This is a pretty cool card. All right. Elvish Archivist. It's for 1 and a green. It is a creature elf artificer. 0/1. Whenever 1 or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put 2 +1/+1 counters on an Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever 1 or more enchantments enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. So, this is really good. This is a really good, like, Enchantress style card. Because it triggers off of enchantments, it triggers off of artifacts, and it doesn't say non-tokens. Like, so any treasure tokens that come in, any roll tokens that you attach to creatures, anything like that, it's just going to make him bigger, make him draw you cards. It's just good. Plain and simple. Yeah, it's just a good card. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Huntsman's Redemption. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's Garrick, and that is Liliana's Veil. So, did this event happen on Eldraine? I wonder. I'm not too well versed in the old stuff. Like that, there's several years of story that I've missed just because I wasn't playing the game. Like from the time of like 2014 to I think just last year, I was not playing Magic at all. No, so this looks interesting to me. So let's take a look. The Huntsman's Redemption. 2 colorless and a green. Saga. Phase 1. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Alright, cool. Part 2. You may sacrifice a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature or basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And Part 3. Up to 2 target creatures, each get +2/+2, and gain trample until end of turn. Okay, so it's not bad. For 3 mana, you're getting a 3/3 creature. And you can sacrifice that creature or something else that you already have on the board to tutor up what you really want. And the last part just gives your team +2/+2 and trample. Yeah. This could be really good if you play it with token generators. Play it in like a Ginny Fae deck. Like a Naya Swarm deck would really like this. Because it only has 1 green in the casting cost. So yeah, I would definitely think this would see play in a Naya tokens list. Absolutely. And Sir Ginger, the Meal Ender. So cute. Let's look at this thing. 2 colorless, legendary artifact creature, Food Knight. Sir Ginger, the Meal Ender, has trample, hexproof, and haste as long as an opponent controls a planeswalker. Whenever another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Sir Ginger and scry 1. 2, tap, sacrifice Sir Ginger. You gain life equal to its power. And it comes in as a 3/1. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, even if like you remove a lot of the text there, like 2 mana for 3/1 is not that bad. And you sacrifice it for life gain. Whenever more artifacts come in, like if like other food tokens, other treasure tokens, blood tokens into the battlefield, it gets +1/+1 counter, and you scry. And if your opponent controls a planeswalker, it just gets a bunch of great keywords. It's solid. Yeah. And here's one I haven't seen yet. This is Fawn's Bane Troll. For 2 colorless, a black and a green, so it's in Golgari. 4/4. When Fawn's Bane Troll enters the battlefield, create a monster roll token attached to it. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and trample. So instead of a 4/4 for 4, it's actually a 5/5 with trample for 4. So that's already pretty good. Yeah. Then 1, sacrifice an aura attached to Fawn's Bane Troll. Fawn's Bane Troll fights target creature you don't control. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Activate only as a sorcery. Pretty good. Yeah. He just smushes something. And that is one ugly troll too. I mean, look at that guy. You got a mug. Alright. The Goose Mother. It's Mother Goose. It is an X, green and blue, for a legendary bird hydra. It is a 2/2, flying. The Goose Mother enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When the Goose Mother enters the battlefield, create half X food tokens, rounded up. Whenever the Goose Mother attacks, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, draw a card. This card's amazing. I love it. I love the flavor. I love the Mother Goose reference. I love that it can just come in as a giant bird, and it makes a ton of food tokens. I mean, this is stupid enough to work. I like it a lot. Yeah. And the art, again, is so funny. I mean, have you ever seen a goose hydra before? This is silly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 7 heads. It's a 7-headed goose hydra. Silly. Gallant Pie Wielder. Oh, what is this set? Oh my god. Okay. 2 and a white for a 2/3. Dwarf Knight. First strike. Celebration. Gallant Pie Wielder has double strike as long as 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn. This is so silly. Oh my god. Okay. It normally has first strike. It will get double strike if you trigger celebration. Time for your just desserts, red cap scum. Because I'm gonna throw pies at you. This set is so just God, it's weird. I love it. Knight of Doves. Alright. So it's 2 and a white. Creature human knight, 1/3. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. Okay, that's not too bad. That's actually kind of like a role player in the Auras deck. Yeah. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, yeah, create a 1/1 white bird. Yeah, not bad. I think it would be better if it was when they came into play rather than when they left play. But hey, I'm not the designer here. So many birds, yet the air was still and empty of song. Part of Sir Daemon knew something wasn't right, but it was a far-off worry, unimportant, and soon forgotten. Stroke of Midnight. Okay, so we got some Cinderella stuff going on here. So 2 and a white, instant. Destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Oh, that's super flavorful. I like that. Yeah, that's good. Nice. Yeah, it strikes midnight. The pumpkins turn back. That's funny. The assembled partygoers fell silent and stared. As the helmet came to a clattering stop, the only sound was Ash's distant footsteps. Next we have the Frolicking Familiar. It is an otter wizard. Oh my god. It's an otter wizard. I need it. I need like 20 copies of it. It's so good. It's an otter wizard. Alright, 2 and a blue for 2/2. Blow off steam. Instant adventure. Blow off steam deals 1 damage to any target. Alright, that's cool. And then flying, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Frolicking Familiar gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay, so it has prowess. Just say it has prowess. Oh, it's so funny. It's just so dumb. Oh, I love this set. This is so good. Okay. Fairy Dream Thief. 1 black. Creature Fairy Warlock. Flying 1/1. When Fairy Dream Thief enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. Exile Fairy Dream Thief from your graveyard. You draw a card. You lose 1 life. Okay. Alright. That's not... You know what? My brain is still on that stupid otter. I need to read this again. All right. Flying. Okay, it's a single black, 1/1 flying. So already, that's pretty good. Baseline, that's a good creature. When Fairy Dream Thief enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Okay, now it has upside. Perfect. 2 and a black, exile Fairy Dream Thief from your graveyard. You draw a card, you lose life. Okay, yeah. This is a good card. This is a very good card. Yeah. For just 1 black mana, you get a 1/1 flyer that's already good. It surveils for 1, so hopefully put something relevant into your graveyard. And then 2 and a black, exile to draw a card and lose a life. I see nothing wrong with this. This is just a good card, period. All right, let's move on. Tanglespan Lookout. This is a satyr. How cool. 2 and a green, creature satyr, 2/3. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Oh, okay, so this is just another enchantress kind of thing. But this is more for the role tokens and like other random enchantments you might play. Yeah, this is very specific, but I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Ash, Party Crasher. Okay, so this is the same person as in this art right here, Stroke of Midnight. So that explains what we're looking at there is the helmet right there. So we have Ash the Party Crasher. For a red and a white, you have a legendary creature, Human Peasant, 2/2. Haste. Celebration. Whenever Ash Party Crasher attacks, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Ash. Okay, that's actually pretty solid and really fits this deck archetype, the celebration type. And the fact that it's haste, I mean, pretty solid, yeah. I got nothing bad to say about this. Yeah. Flavor text. Get up and dance. Let your feet thunder like four jammers. Nice. I like it. And I like that it's a human peasant because it tells you that like this is just a regular average day person that happened upon like an enchanted suit of armor, and she has to run home at midnight because that armor is going to start falling off of her or disappearing, and then the masquerade's over. I like it. Okay, Greta, Sweet Tooth Scourge. Okay, first off, this is amazing. That is a carnivorous gummy worm in her hand there. And then there's like these like sweet monsters that there's a candied apple back there trying to get at her. There's a cupcake that's been cleaved by the axe right there. Another gummy worm, some peppermints. This is very clearly Gretel from Hansel and Gretel. Just looking at the art alone, I know I'm going to love this card. So let's see what it does. Okay, so it is a 3/3 for 3. So this is competing for the same spot as Glissa Sunslayer. When Greta Sweettooth Scourge enters the battlefield, create a food token. Sacrifice a food. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Activate as a sorcery. 1 and a black. Sacrifice a food. You draw a card and lose a life. Okay. So she is competing with Glissa, and unfortunately, in this situation, Glissa is going to be the winner. I mean, even if Glissa didn't have any other abilities and just said Death Touch and First Strike, she would still be better than this card. However, this card gets like flavor win of the day. It's so funny. It's so good, so flavorful. I love it. She comes in with a food token, and then she can kill the food tokens for benefits. It's so good. I'm loving it. I am loving it. All right. Johann, Apprentice Sorcerer. So it's 2, a blue, and a red. Legendary creature, human wizard. 2/5. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from the top of your library. Okay, that's actually solid. A little expensive, but it's got a good size defense, so it's not going to die instantly. Yeah, that's pretty good. Apprentice Sorcerer. Okay, let's look at the art for this card real quick. This is in reference to, obviously, the Sorcerer's Apprentice. All of these books and objects are coming to life, bursting out in flames. The elementals are reaching out. So just like in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, but in that one, it was like broomsticks and other things coming to life. And eventually things getting out of control. So this guy, the look on his face, looks like he's in over his head. He's just lost control. And things are about to get bad. All right, not bad. I think this would be a little bit better if it also like gave you a synergistic benefit from playing cards from the top of your library. Like even if it was just like prowess, I'd be okay with that. All right, Neva, Stalked by Nightmares. 2 colorless, a black, and a white. Legendary creature, human noble. It's a 2/2. So it's a pretty expensive 2/2. So her ability better be good. Menace. When Neva, Stalked by Nightmares, enters the battlefield, return target creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so it gets you something back from the graveyard. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Neva and then scry 1. Okay. I think this card should cost 3, not 4. And because its cost is competing with other 4-cost cards that are way better than this, I don't think it's ever going to see play. Yeah. Like even Ratadrabik is better than this, and that only sees play in one deck. So probably going to have to pass on this one. Right, moving on. We have Obira, the Dreaming Duelist, is a fairy warrior. It costs only 1 blue and 1 black. It is a 2/2, flash, flying. Whenever another fairy enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, blue-black fairy aggro is definitely going to be a thing. Yep. Blue and black, 2/2, flash, flying. Yeah, it's solid. It's absolutely solid. Love it. Ruby, Daring Tracker. Okay, so this is Red Riding Hood, because Ruby anagram for red. Yeah. Picnic basket. Except this time she looks like she's a werewolf hunter. And there are the werewolves in the background there. All right. Red and green. Legendary creature, Human Scout, 1/2, haste. Whenever Ruby Daring Tracker attacks, while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, Ruby gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Tap, add a green or a red. Okay, that's not bad. And this will very clearly fit into the same deck as Agatha, because they're both in the same colors, and they both care about creatures having a power 4 or more. Yeah, so, yeah, decent. I can see this being in a red-green aggro mid-range list that uses Halana and Elena. Okay, moving on. Shirai of Numbing Depths. So 2, a white and a blue, legendary creature. Merfolk Wizard, 2/3. When Shirai of Numbing Depths enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Okay, that's pretty good. Whenever you tap 1 or more untapped creatures your opponents control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, yeah, so this plays in with the Ice Queen and the Icy Manipulator, like in all those other cards that want to tap down the opposing forces. Yeah, pretty good. Now we have Sir Armont, the Redeemer. It is 3 colors, a black, green, and a white. Legendary creature, Human Knight. 4/4. When Sir Armont, the Redeemer, enters the... What just happened? Okay. My audio is coming in and out. When Sir Armont, the Redeemer, enters the battlefield, create a monster roll token attached to another target creature you control. So, reminder, that gives the creature +1/+1 and trample. Enchanted creatures you control get +1/+1. That's pretty cool. Yeah. You make a green-white roll deck with like the various like enchantress type cards, and yeah, that could come together pretty well. And she's a lord for enchanted creatures. Very interesting. Okay. Totentons, the Swarm Piper. Okay, so this is clearly the Pied Piper fairy tale. So 1 black, red, legendary creature, human, warlock, bard. Say 2/3. When Totenton Swarm Piper or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. Pay 1 and a black. Target attacking rat you control gains Death Touch until end of turn. Ooh, I like that. That's really strong. Among the rats, he found the acceptance the human world never gave him. Yeah, pretty good. I like that. I like that you can give any rat Death Touch. That's good. Okay. Troyon, the Gutsy Explorer. This is a Vidalcan Scout. For 1, a green and a blue. We have a legendary creature, 1/3. It taps to add a green and a blue. Spend this mana only to cast spells with mana value 5 or greater, or spells with X in their mana cost. Okay? And only spell. So it doesn't say creature spell, it doesn't say instant sorcery. So any spell with a mana value of 5 or greater, or spells that have X. And then it says blue tap, draw a card, discard a card. Okay, so it's also a looter. Yeah, cool. And very good looter at that. Oh, wow. The streets of Ravnica were stifling. Eldraine is an endless adventure paved in gold. So that explains why there is a Vidalkin on Eldraine. You probably took one of the Omen paths to get there. Besotted Knight. 3 and a white. Creature, human, knight. Betroth the Beast. Sorcery adventure. Create a royal roll token attached to target creature you control. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has ward 1. Cool. Then on the backside, it's just a 3/3 body. Yeah, so 3/3 human knight says, "You are no monster to me, my love." Now, notice, I do think that these are the same two characters in the Fox Knight creature. So the story being told here is it's Beauty and the Beast, except the roles are reversed. In this case, it is a man giving the enchanted rose to a werebeast, and the werebeast is female in this case, and he gives her the rose, and she regains her sanity, and then picks up her armor and her weapons, and does everything she can to protect the man she loves. It's honestly kind of beautiful. Yeah. You know what? After coming from like the Phyrexia storyline and the Brothers War and all that conflict, it's nice to take a step back and just see some nice storytelling. Just low stakes, good stories. Yeah, I like it. And I really like that they're telling stories across multiple cards. I like that a lot. Break the spell. 1 white, instant. Destroy target enchantment. If a permanent you controlled or a token was destroyed this way, draw a card. Okay. So this is going to be used primarily as a way to remove enemy debilitating auras. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so you can use it offensively or defensively, but if you do it defensively, you draw a card off it. Not bad. Okay. As Hilda watched Ruby drag Kellen's unconscious form through the cold, Hilda felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Compassion. Interesting. Living Lectern. Okay, I like this already. 1 and a blue for an artifact creature construct. It's a 0/4. 1, sacrifice Living Lectern. Draw a card. Create a sorcerer roll token attached to up to 1 other target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. That's cool. I don't like that it's activate as a sorcery only. I think that's pretty boo-boo. I would like to be able to use this as an instant effect in response to an opponent trying to kill it. But you can't have everything, right? And it's a common, so you'll probably see this in draft. So here we have Rowan's Grim Search for 2 and a black. So it says it's an instant. It says bargain. You may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast the spell. If this spell is bargained, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Then put up to 2 of them back on top of your library in any order, and the rest into your graveyard. You draw 2 cards, and you lose 2 life. Okay? So it's a little bit more expensive than typical effects like this, but it allows you to look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 of them back, and put 2 back on the top of your library in any order, and the rest into your graveyard. So it basically allows you to surveil up to 2, and then put the other 2 back up, and then you just draw those 2 when the spell resolves, and you lose 2 life in the process. So yeah, I think that extra 1 mana is justified in this situation. Yeah, cool. I really like the art here too. It looks like she's still reeling from the death of her father, or parents actually. and is just looking for any way to cope with it. And that's why it shows the dreary, overcast sky and her making her way into this dreary bog, away from like the green meadows in the background there. Yeah, very, very evocative. I like the art a lot. All right, next we have Sweet Tooth Witch, a 2 colorless and a black. It is a human warlock, 1/3. So clearly the Hansel and Gretel storyline. When Sweet Tooth Witch enters the battlefield, create a food token. 2, sacrifice a food. Target player loses 2 life. That's not too bad. All right, try some pie. Your brother helped make it, and he really poured his heart into it. Oh, that's evil. That's evil. Oh, no wonder Gretel is so angry and just slaying candy monsters. Oh, that's brutal. Torch the tower. 1 red, instant, bargain. Torch the tower deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If this spell was bargained, instead it deals 3 damage to that permanent, and you scry 1. If a permanent dealt damage by Torch the Tower would die this turn, exile it instead. Alright, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Nothing really to write home about, but it's a pretty cool effect. Sky Beast Tracker is a giant archer. That's very cool. Jolly Green Giant. 3 colorless and a green. Creature, giant archer. 2/4, reach. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, create a food token. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's probably a draft card, but decent. Really good art, too. I like the art a lot. Troublemaker Ufe. That is a really old tribe. Like, I have not seen an Ufe in, like, God, 20, 25 years. Like, I think the Dark was the last time I saw an Ufe. Anyways. 1 and a green for 2/2. Bargain. When Troublemaker Ufe enters the battlefield, if it was bargained, exile target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. Okay, that's pretty cool. Heavy is the head that wears the vase. Oh, that's silly. That's really silly. Yeah, I think they're like little like sprite characters. Oh, okay. Hi. How you doing, bud? Hi. Are you trying to get my attention? Do you want to go aside? You want to go aside? Sure. Let me get the door for you. Good boys. I love those dogs. Okay. Yeah. Decent. Draftable. Break your opponent's toys with it. Not too bad. Okay, and here we're getting into like some of the showcase cards. So we've already seen these. Yeah, Kellen. There's Balloona. Decadent Dragon. Ooh, I like that art. That's very storybook. I love that. Let's see. Expel the Interlopers. We saw that. Lich King's Conquest. The End. Fonsbane Troll. Kellen. Will, Sign of Peace. Interesting art on that. There's that Restless Cottage looks a lot better. Yeah, I would definitely use that over the base. That's pretty cool. Lich King's Conquest. Ooh, I like that. Expel the Interlopers. Stroke of Midnight. Harry Dream Thief again. Tangle Span Lookout. Torch the Tower. Glass Casket. Okay, we haven't seen this one yet. So Glass Casket, 1 and a white. So this is probably the Snow White story. When Glass Casket enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls with mana value 3 or less until Glass Casket leaves the battlefield. I think this is a reprint. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this was a reprint from, I think, the Vampire Wedding, or maybe even further back, but I do recognize this card. While Neva's mind wandered the realm of dreams, her body lay protected as mages worked frantically to find a cure for the wicked slumber. Okay, now here's some reprints of old cards. You got some land tax here. That's pretty cool. And we have another Kindred Discovery, Rhystic Study, Bitter Blossom, another Bitter Blossom, Blood Moon again, Sneak Attack, a really cool looking Sneak Attack, Defense of the Heart, buddy. Card I can't read, Polluted Bonds, another Polluted Bonds. Yeah, so it's a whole bunch of just cosmetics down here. Let's keep going. Okay, looks like these are commander only cards, so we can skip these. Be all of the new reveals. Now let's just scroll a little bit further, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, that looks like it. Okay, cool. So we made it. We actually went through all of the new releases. We can just relax for at least another day or so, and then pick this back up when we see more spoils come out. So thank you for hanging out with me for all this time, if you did. It was a longer than usual stream. So I need to go make dinner, feed my dogs, and just go enjoy the rest of my night. So until next time, take care of yourself.